And serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
Even criminals know where to get the best fireworks. So that's where they're coming back to us. It's an unfortunate situation. It's not going to happen again, I guarantee you.
One day after businesses started selling fireworks in North Dakota, one of them in the metro area was hit by burglars.
Make that twice in a matter of weeks for Memory Fireworks. Valley News Team's Joshua Pagaro joins us live from Horace, where the theft happened. Joshua?
Mike and Andrew, Memory Fireworks tells us that they're frustrated about the thefts, and the most recent one happened at a trailer behind this building. Cass County deputies are urging all fireworks vendors to keep an extra watch on your property. David Reuter says it's happened once again, and he's not going to take it anymore.
We got to think like criminals because they're just one step ahead kind of thing. So it's very frustrating that we keep taking further measures and they keep getting around them.
Burglars stole thousands of dollars worth of inventory from Memory Fireworks in Horace, the second time one of its locations has been hit in a few weeks.
We got a lot of stuff, but at the same time, when you lose, when so much gets taken, that all of a sudden becomes a concern.
Cass County deputies took a report Friday morning of a trailer that was burglarized by forced entry. What makes this wound sting a little more was that Reuter says Memory Fireworks was just about to upgrade its security systems.
The upgrades that are planned haven't been fully initiated yet because it just happened so short time ago. So, you know, another couple days this wouldn't have happened.
Reuter says their business is known for importing high-quality fireworks from China, and this is a busy sales season for them with the 4th of July.
Another new one. We teamed up with the Fargo-Moorhead Redhawks.
Reuter has full faith law enforcement will nab the burglars.
This is something new to North Dakota, and we don't want it to happen to anyone else.
He says they aren't your average teens from the area picking locks.
Said they're professionals. They're hitting places right off the interstate.
At his business, the suspected burglars used high-powered tools to break strong locks on his trailer. Reuter says the business does have insurance to cover some of the loss, and he also says customers shouldn't be worried that the fireworks they're trying to buy are going to be gone or aren't going to be available. They'll just order them for whoever wants them. Live in Horace, Joshua Pagaro, Valley News Live.
All right, thanks, Joshua. Cass County deputies are also urging firework vendors to immediately report any suspicious activity.
A Minnesota man was sentenced to 3 years in prison for sexually assaulting a 23-year-old woman last year. Ian Herzberg was extradited to North Dakota after his 2 gross sexual imposition charges were posted in Burleigh County. He pleaded guilty to 1 count in March and the other was dismissed. Herzberg must also register as a sex offender.
A Fargo woman is warning about an employment scam that she almost got caught up in. Ashley Fisher says she'd been applying for jobs on websites, so she didn't think much about receiving a text message from a so-called employer. Then she only heard from the company via text, which included a written interview. She got suspicious when she was told she was hired, never having spoken over the phone with the company. Then she received a check for some $3,000, telling her that she would need to purchase equipment from the company hiring her.
And now a cashier's check, certified mail, no letter, no documentation, nothing mention of Avis Budget Group. The whole thing just seems too good to be true. 2 hours later, his response is, "All right, good. I need you to open the envelope and confirm with me the amount on the check."
Fisher took the check to a bank, which advised her not to deposit it. The company the scammers claimed to be from is Avis Budget Group, whose headquarters are in New Jersey. The check supposedly came from a bank in Florida and was sent from Arizona.
The Grand Forks Air Force Base was redesignated as an unmanned aerial wing and will now be the home of the 69th Reconnaissance Group, which used to report to a base in California. State Senator Scott Myers says Grand Forks is now a leader in unmanned aerial system development.
What's going on with Russia, China, North Korea, and now Iran. I mean, it is important that we have a northern tier base, and to see Grand Forks basically getting this redesignation is a huge deal.
Meyer adds this could bring an influx of people over time.
The National Buffalo Museum in Jamestown says the herd's white bull has unexpectedly died. They say Dakota Miracle succumbed to injuries from an accidental fall into a ravine. He was 13 years old. Dakota Miracle was the son of White Cloud, the albino bison who lived with the museum's herd for almost 2 decades.
A memorial was held in Maryland today, exactly 1 year after 5 employees of the Capital Gazette were killed in a shooting in their newsroom. Shooting survivors, friends, family members, and journalists came together at a park to remember the lives that were lost last year. 5 rose bushes were planted in the park today in honor of the 5 employees who were shot and killed by a gunman. The Capital Gazette editor said, "I am far richer for having known them, and I am far poorer for having lost them."
The driver who ran his car into a group of counter-protesters at a white nationalist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, will spend the rest of his life in prison. James Alex Fields Jr. was charged with murdering civil rights activist Heather Heyer and injuring more than 30 others by intentionally mowing them down with his car in August of 2017. Fields pleaded guilty to 29 of 30 hate crime charges to avoid the death penalty. Heyer's mother said at the sentencing she wanted Fields to spend the rest of his life in prison.
I'm very happy he got life in prison across the board. I did not want the death penalty. Blood on my hands. He probably deserved it, but it really wouldn't accomplish anything.
Her statement was one of more than a dozen given by survivors and witnesses during the hearing.
The body of a Minnesota airman is back in his home state some 60 years after he was killed in a plane crash. Airman second class Vern Boudin was a 19-year-old mechanic when the plane he was on went down in Alaska east of Anchorage. Every year since, mountaineering teams have returned to the site in June and painstakingly worked to identify remains during that narrow 1-month window of warm weather. This year, Boudin was identified as the 42nd of 52 people on board. On Thursday, his family was there to see him finally land safely back home in Minnesota 66 years later. A memorial service will be held Saturday in Arlington, Minnesota.
It's been said that money can't buy happiness, but what about your wedding? A new report says the social media app Pinterest is playing a role in making weddings more extravagant and expensive.
Valley News Team's Melanie Palmer shopped around the FM area to see if people in the wedding business have noticed this new trend.
What's really popular this wedding season is like this crepe material.
It's something a lot of you probably dreamed about as a child. That perfect wedding dress at the perfect place with that special someone. But during all that fantasizing, did you ever dream up a budget? Pinterest is being blamed for fueling more extravagant and expensive weddings. And a new report says that's because it's raising brides and grooms' expectations for their big day.
Brides will come in kind of with an idea of what they want their dress to look like, and they'll definitely show us pictures off of Pinterest for their wedding gown.
It's a trend that Gina Traum has seen firsthand. But Traum says it's not a bad thing.
You know, we have that crepe chiffon material.
In fact, she says it's made her job easier.
It's kind of nice for us to get a visual of what they're looking for, and then we can best match that.
And Traum even made a Pinterest board herself before her big day. And that's the same for some other people in the wedding business across town at Love Always, a florist in downtown Fargo.
The pictures are wonderful to look at and see, oh, we could do this here, we couldn't do this here, or what if we changed this just a bit and we did something like this or combined 2 pictures together.
So while this trend might be costing you more, people in the wedding business tell us it could make planning for your day easier for you.
But before you start pinning things to your Pinterest board, one wedding planner wants you to keep this in mind. She says brides usually come in with 2 weddings, a Pinterest one and a real life one.
So she says it's important to expect to be met somewhere in the middle for your happily ever after. In Fargo, Melanie Palmer, Valley News Live.
If you're looking to save some money on your wedding, try a traditional venue. Thanks to Instagram and Pinterest, there's a huge demand for non-traditional venues. So country clubs and hotels might be cheaper during this latest trend.
A herd of missing cattle may have been swept away by floodwaters near Byron, Minnesota. Heavy rain overnight led to several road closures in that area. Officials received a missing cattle report early this morning. Deputies say that at least 30 head of cattle were possibly washed away as floodwaters entered the region overnight. A video posted to Facebook shows a number of animals struggling to stay afloat in the rushing water.
Valley News Live 10 at 10 continues with No Wait Weather.
All right, this Friday night has been gorgeous. It has been quiet, and we did warm up here in the FM area after a gray start to our day. Look at that colorful setting sun out to the west. It's 74 degrees, still a number we're watching. Helps us keep our eyes on the amount of moisture in the atmosphere. That's the dew point. It's in the mid-60s, so it's a muggy 74 degrees out there as we head to bed tonight. The wind fairly light out of the east, only 7 miles per hour. 66 in Bemidji and Baudette, the cool points as we look off to the west. The rest of the region in the 70s, including Grand Forks at 74, 76 in Bismarck this hour. Here's a look at those dew point temperatures across the region. When dew points surge into the 70s, it starts to feel oppressively humid up in these parts. So we have an abundant amount of moist air in the area for storms, and they will be a part of our weekend forecast. But not this evening. Things very quiet as we head to bed. Storms out in Montana with an active tornado watch for the Glasgow area. These are working their way off to the east and will continue doing so as we head to bed. There's a risk that a few of these continue their way into our westernmost counties, bringing a chance for some gusty winds and hail. Tomorrow, though, I believe we'll have a better chance of severe storms in our area, with the threats being damaging wind, large hail in excess of 2 inches in diameter, thanks to all the available moisture and energy in the atmosphere. And because there's going to be some spin in the atmosphere, isolated areas could see tornadoes. So those are our risks as we go through. The tornado risk fairly low as far as having strong tornadoes, but we may indeed see that risk enhanced a little bit as we go through the 24-hour forecast here. Tonight we see temperatures not change much. We'll dip down to near 70 degrees in Bismarck. That's it. The few of those storms out to the west could be working their way into the Devil's Lake Basin. That's where we'll have the best chance of some gusty storms to start our day. Then, as we head into the midday hours, a warm front pushes in. We'll have southeasterly winds through the region. Dangerous heat setting up in the south and east, where a heat advisory is indeed in place. And then in the afternoon, we'll start to see that chance of showers and storms through the early afternoon in northeast North Dakota. And we want to caution you that thunderstorms, once they form, can kind of take their own renegade paths out there. Anything that does form down south here with the heat and humidity available, if it does form, could rapidly become severe as well. Heading into the afternoon, we'll have a shot at showers and storms, but the chances will increase in the Southern Valley later in the day for some of those stout thunderstorms. Notice our cooler colors of air starting to rid us of that hot, oppressive air. The storm risk does continue out to the east as we go into the late evening hours, and the threat will switch over to more wind, damaging wind and hail from the storms. Afternoon temperatures will be coolest up north thanks to the clouds and storms. Still sizzling hot down to the south with storms on the way for some of us. Thank you, Vicki, for uploading your photo of a great blue heron. Now on Sunday, we could have a few morning showers and storms across the region. 85 degrees as we'll see things cool off into Monday. It looks quiet to start your 4th of July work week, but we'll have a chance for hit and miss showers and storms as we go through Thursday. We'll keep you advised of that as we go along.
A little bit of a dicey weekend, but not the entire weekend.
Right.
More miss than hit, maybe.
Yeah,
hope
we'll
so,
see about
right?
tomorrow.
Yeah.
I hope so, too.
Later